I'm often struck by how many people care about mental health, but don't know how to begin that conversation. This short film is something anybody could take, a business, a corporation, a law firm, a school, play it for 15 minutes, have their own panel in their own community with local resources, and that could be of benefit to other people.
Welcome to our Happy Rainmaker series where point one can make a difference. Today, I am joined by Dan Lukasik, who is the current Judicial Wellness Coordinator for the New York State Office of Court Administration. Thank you so much for joining me, Dan.
Thanks, Jen, for having me.
I've been following your content for a really long time on LinkedIn, and I think it is so helpful. Can you tell everybody who's watching this who may not be familiar a little bit about your own journey as a lawyer with depression?
Well, I'm 63. I was a trial lawyer for 30 years. And when I was 40, I was the managing partner at my litigation firm and one of the big rainmakers at the firm. And at that time, I was diagnosed with major depression, the very difficult thing to go through personally for my family, for my law firm, and my partners. But then at some point, I recovered. It's a relative term with depression because it's often a lifelong condition. But I launched a website about 15 years ago called Lawyers with Depression. And I did that because I thought one of the worst aspects of depression that I went through was it was a terribly lonely condition for lots of reasons, one of which, I think it was difficult for people to understand. How can you possibly be a managing partner and you're doing all these things and have something so incapacitating as depression? But it did happen, and I was incapacitated for a period of time, and I went through therapy and medication. And I decided if I ever got better, I would go on to try to help other people, specifically lawyers, and to educate people about what depression is. Why is it so common in the legal profession? Lawyers have 4 times the rate of depression than the general population. It's a very common condition. It's a difficult condition unless one gets treatment. You can't try to fix it on your own, which I tried to do. And most recently, my younger brother passed away last year of a drug overdose. But, he died really of a lifetime of untreated mental illness. He had bipolar disorder, which is a kind of depression. And it was a devastating thing to lose him because we were very close. Sometime after he died, somehow through a mysterious series of events, I met a filmmaker. We decided to film a 15-minute documentary, and it's going to be on PBS television in November. But the idea behind the project is to go national. And the film is called My Brother Lost in Time, a Bipolar Life. And that's about my relationship with my brother. It's really a love story about one brother with mental illness, me with depression, trying to help another brother with mental illness, which is bipolar depression. So I think that a lot can be done with that in terms of destigmatizing mental health problems, because we know when stigma goes down, treatment goes up, and that is true in spades in the legal profession. It's a 15-minute film followed by a panel discussion with local mental health experts and a question and answer with the audience. I'm often struck by how many people care about mental health, but don't know how to begin that conversation. This short film is something anybody could take, a business, a corporation, a law firm, a school, play it for 15 minutes, have their own panel in their own community with local resources, and that could be of benefit to other people. So that's what I'm trying to do in memory of my brother.
Well, that is a really nice thing to try and do from a tragedy. Aside from the movie you've just made, are there any other projects you're working on that you want to share with us?
I do take off time from work to go to different firms around the U.S. and put on CLEs. And some firms have already asked me to bring the film to their law firm. It's important to me because I believe that, when they see someone in flesh and blood like them, a real human being talking about these things. The other thing I'm doing is around the time of the premiere, I'm launching a new website called the Buffalo Depression Project. which will be a website dedicated for my community of about 1 million people in Western New York, where they can find resources. I'm going to blog there about living with depression. I'm going to interview local people in a podcast, Living with Depression, local heroes. There's going to be videos and other resources. But I find that so many people over the years say, Dan, I don't know where to get help. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. We have lots of great mental health places, but nobody knows how to find them or who they are. So my dream is that they could type in Buffalo and depression and they'd be sent to the site and they could access those kinds of resources.
That sounds like an amazing project on top of the movie and all of the CLA you're doing. You're helping a lot of people. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thanks a lot. I'm really humbled by that, and I'm humbled to be of service to people, and thanks for having me.